So you guys may not believe it, but we're all creative. And this is evident if you were to read Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God created heaven and earth. Emphasis on created. So that tells me that we're dealing with a higher power or a being that is creative in nature. And because we are built in the image of God, we also share that creative ability. But not all of us are able to tap into that creativeness. And that's mainly because of the things that we tell ourselves, our mental capacity. We say things like, I'll never be creative. You know, growing up, I was never really creative. I don't really know how to become creative. I don't think I'll ever become creative. Or he's creative, but I can never do what he does. And what we don't understand is how powerful words are. You know, when you think of everything that's been created in this world, in this three-dimensional world, they all first started with a thought. And then that thought was spoken. And then when that thought was spoken, it was created. Then we manifested it. So there's a process to the manifestation of three-dimensional products. Starts off as a thought, then we speak it, then we create it. Now, take that same concept and apply it to speech, apply it to language. It starts as a thought, we speak it, then it becomes our reality. So if you think you're not creative, and then you speak the words of you not being creative, then you never will be creative because you are manifesting what you have already been thinking, what you have already been saying. So when I like to tap into my creative ability, I try to find things that stimulate my mind. What is going to stimulate me today? How am I feeling today? And the same thing may not always stimulate me. So I have to understand the different things that my mind gets stimulated off of. So when I'm trying to be creative, there's times I may watch other people in their creative form, doing things that they do that is creative. Because when I see other people being creative, it inspires me. It gets my creative juices going. Then I start tapping into that third eye, or I start tapping into that invisible realm, that spiritual realm, and start dealing with ideas and unique things that I can possibly produce into reality. So at times, I may get my creative juice going from watching other individuals. And at other times, I may get my creative juices going by just being in a place of isolation. Sometimes I may go on a hike. I may hike in the woods, or let's say I might go to the mountains, hike a little bit. That may create, some type of stimulus in my mind to get my creative juices going. So it's about you finding what it is that gets you going creatively, because we all have the ability, but you haven't been able to find that thing that sparks that creative ability. So that's your journey. I know because I spent time trying to become creative. I was at a place that you are at one point in my life where I was like, how do I become more creative? And I found my creative ability through books, through isolation, through watching other people be creative, and also through playing basketball. So I was able to find my ways of being creative. What are your ways? Figure out what your ways are and sit in that space and meditate and try to understand what it is that you like and you dislike. It's self-awareness. When you achieve self-awareness, you unlock the key to life. You unlock everything when you understand yourself, which is why sometimes we need to spend time in isolation. We need to spend time in stillness in order to get a better understanding of who we are. So allow that isolation to push you towards creative ability. Now, I'm not telling you to disconnect forever, for years. Like for me right now, I've been disconnected for a while. Not necessarily where I'm not using like social media and things like that, but I haven't really been hanging out with people, haven't been drinking. I've been sober like crazy. I've been sitting in my thoughts. I've been reading the Bible. I've read the Bible straight for 8 months and haven't read a single book. single other book. And usually I read a ton of books, but I've been focused on getting the knowledge from the Bible. It's ancient knowledge. It is a collection of books for a span of 1400 years. You're talking about ancient knowledge, ancient wisdom. All the books that you read today are built off of the wisdom from the Bible. Though a lot of scientists like to discredit the Bible, a lot of them go back to the Bible when they're trying to prove or disprove a fact or a theory or a hypothesis. So the Bible is used in multitudes of different scenarios in order to make determinations, because it is ancient text. It is ancient knowledge that has withstanded the falls of many empires. So I've been doing nothing but getting closer to God in my isolation, and I have been getting a tremendous amount of wisdom from it. Just the keys to life, understanding how to live and how I should be living. So you could do something differently. I just talk about what I do. I give my experiences so that my experiences may lead you into a specific direction. Maybe it leads you to pick up the Bible. Maybe it leads you to pick up a book on philosophy. So I just want you to get active and do something. And when you make the decision to do something, you have then started the process of understanding what your creative ability is. So I want to thank you guys for checking out this video. I want us to focus on tapping into our creative ability because it is gifted to you by God. It is yours. You have been gifted it. You don't have to recreate creative ability. It's not something that you have to birth. You already have it. But for some of us, it is lying dormant inside of us. So you have to awaken it. So figure out what it is in this world that will awaken it, and you'll see your life change. But I thank you guys for checking out this video, and I'll have more content on the way. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out.